understand. So who are the persons that are going to be involved in the requirements gathering? How many people will be there? Minimum of how many will be involved? Minimum of how many will be involved in a requirements gathering? Is it going to be only one, or is it going to be two or more than two? How many of you are going with two? Two. Any option of two? Only few hands. More than two? More than two also we are getting more options.
Hello.
So only one. Anyone is going with only one? No. So minimum of two members are going to be involved in your requirements gathering. One person is a stakeholder or customer or client that you are going to say, and the other person is other person who is going to involve in requirements gathering is. So who is going to involve the other person? So one is customer, the other one. So who is going to take the project? Who is going to take the project? Company is going to take the projects. The company may contain one person or more than one persons. That is secondary. So who is going to take the requirements from the customer? Who is going to take the requirements from the customer? Who will take the requirements? Who will take the requirements? See, you are saying we are having customer on one side, the other side we are having company. The company may contain one person or more than one person. So in company, one person is going to take all our requirements. That person may be a manager or the project leader who is going to take the particular project of the customer, that is client. Okay. So after these discussions, what this person is going to do? First phase is communication, that is requirements gathering, you are saying. So after expressing or after the communication, what is the second person is going to do? He is going to go for the planning. So what kinds of plans he is going to get? So whatever the requirements that the customer is expressing or whatever the requirements that the customer is asking for the company, he is going to plan according to the requirements of the user or the customer or the client. Okay. So these roles we are going to say it as one, that is stakeholder or user or client or customer. They are going to give the project to the company, where team leader or project manager is going to have the discussion with the customer or client or the user or stakeholder. Then he is going to design, that is he is going to plan for the execution of this particular project. Whatever the project that he is going to get, he is going to plan for that particular project, and then he is going to go for the planning of that particular things. Then after planning, what he is going to do? So he is going to try to implement that particular project with the help of diagrams, coding, and testing, designs, whatever the things he is in need of. He is going to come up with more number of options, and he is going to satisfy the customer. Then only his project is going to go for the further levels. Okay. Then testing phase he is going to take. He is going to undergo alpha testing, beta testing, self-testings, unit testing, white box testing, black box testing, whatever the testings he is having, he is going to execute with the help of top to bottom or bottom to top. That is from the deployment till the construction phase, or the requirements gathering phase, or requirements gathering phase to the last phase. He is going to examine and he is going to come with the solution if he is going to have any sort of errors or any drawbacks in the particular project. Then he is going to go for the deployment. So who is going to give the project to whom? company is going to deploy the project to the customer. So in the first case, the arrow mark will be from the customer to the company. In the second phase, that is while deployment, it is going to be the reverse from the company to the customer or stakeholder. So after deployment also, if he is going to get any kind of mistakes or errors, so to whom he is going to ask? That is the customer. To whom he is going to ask? Again, whoever has developed and deployed the project, he is going to approach to those people only for regarding that particular mistakes or errors, that whatever he is going to get, and then they are going to go for the giving the solutions. So whenever they are going to provide the solutions to the queries even after the deployment, then we are going to, that is the company is going to charge, then that phase is going to be called as your maintenance phase. Okay, you are maintaining the complete project till the life cycle is completed, that is its lifetime will be completed. That is the main agenda. Then what do you mean by conventional software management performance? What do you mean by conventional software management performance? How many are there? How many aspects we are having? So this one is clear. You are going to write with the 5 phases. You are going to explain. You are going to give with the diagrams. So what about the second one? That is conventional software management practice. Conventional software management practice. So what is the answer that you are going to write for this particular topic if you are going to be asked in the exam? What is your answer for conventional software project management or management performance? So have you written any running notes during the last class or last visit? Have you written anything? Yes? Anything you wrote? So we have seen in practice and what is happening in reality for the conventional software management. So what is in practice is happening and what is in reality it is happening. Have you written anything? Nothing is written. You have also not taken any PDF also. Yes. Conventional software management performance. How your conventional software project management performance is going to be checked. Ma? How you are checking? Ma? 10 examples. 10 topics. What are those 10? Ma? Finding and fixing the software problem after delivery. Okay. So what is conventional software management performance is indicating? So it is saying, so once your project is being delivered and if you are going to ask for the modifications, so what is the cost? How much they are going to charge you? So if you are asking for any changes in between the project or from the beginning, then it is going to cost you less amount. So if you are asking at the time of your after deployment, what is the cost? It is going to be 100 times of your cost of your project. Say for example, if your project cost is 2 lakhs or 20 lakhs at the beginning. So if it is 20 lakhs at the beginning and after deployment, again, the process has to be started from the beginning till the last. So what they will charge? They will charge you more than what you are expected. That is 100 times of your money they are going to charge you for this particular conventional software management performance. That is, they are going to manage your complete project by using your complete money. That is, they are going to charge you more than what you have expected. Then second point is, you can compress software development techniques or schedules 25% of nominal, but not more than. Okay. So you can go for the scheduling of your project. That is, you can change your 25% of people, but not more than that particular people you are not going to modify. That is, you are not going to allow more than 25% of people who are involved in a particular project. If you are going to involve, your project will be into a particular wastage, because you need to train all those 25 people, 25% of people again and again from the scratch to the development phase and deployment phase. Next point. So for every $1 you spend on development, you will spend $2 on maintenance, because we are asking for the changes after the deployment of the project. That is, once you are investing 1 rupee for your execution, you will be charged 2 rupees after the deployment. Next point. Software development and maintenance costs are primarily a function of the number of source lines of code. Okay. So that is your development. That is whatever the lines of code that the user is, whatever the lines of code that the technician is writing is going to be charged, and it is the primary function of the number of source of lines of code. That is, how many lines of codes he is writing for your development of that particular project you are going to check. Then variation among people account the biggest difference in software productivity. That is, so if you are going to involve more number of people as change, you are going to train them again and again. So once you are training people again and again, your training period will be more and the trained people will be less, because you are changing the people who are involved in a particular project multiple number of times, and you are leading to your biggest strains, that is biggest your problems. Next one. The overall ratio of your software and hardware, that is software cost, is still growing from 1955 to till present. That is, earlier it was 15:85, that is software to hardware, but it is reverse right now. Okay. So software is charging more, hardware is charging less as on today. Okay. The only about 15% of the software development effort is devoted in programming. That is devoted to programming. That is lines of code or testing, lines of code writing is involved in only with 15% of your project. Okay. Out of 100%, only 15% is involved in project writing. That is lines of code. Next one. Software system and products typically cost 3 times as much as SLOC, that is software lines of code, as individual software programs, right? So the system product cost 9 times as much. Okay, lines of code you are writing is going to be cost only 1 time. The system programming is going to cost you 9 times more than what we are expected. Okay, so walkthroughs is 60% of the errors. Okay, so walkthroughs can catch 60% of your errors. So what are these walkthroughs? You are going to inspect your project or the product for every 15 days or for every 1 week or for every 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or maybe for 6 months. So when you are testing your project again and again for maybe 1 week or 1 month, 15 days or 2 months, 3 months, what you will be finding? You will be finding the drawbacks in our particular project. So if you are finding any drawbacks in the particular project, you will be overcoming those particular drawbacks with the help of your team, and then your project will be effective in the market. Okay, so this can be achieved with the help of walkthroughs, that is regular intervals of your testing or regular intervals of your uh, debugging of your lines of code. Okay, so 80% of the contribution comes from 20% of the contributors. Okay, so here 80% of your complete code is going to come with the help of only 20% of your people who are involved in the particular project, because you are going to take help of only 25 to 30 members as a team within the project. Okay, so that is our uh, conventional software management performance. That is, so these are the principles, or these are the top 10 lists of software metrics which are provided by, who is the person who has provided all these 10 metrics, that is software metrics? Who has provided these 10 metrics, software metrics? So in the exam, you will be asked to write Bohem's top 10 software metrics. What you will write? So we don't have that topic. We are leaving the question. Okay. So in the topic, we are having conventional software management performance, but in the exam, it is asked Barry Bohem's or Bohem's software metrics. Write any 10 software metrics of Barry Bohem's or Bohem's. What you will write? You need to write these 10 metrics which are involved with your project management. Okay. Barry Bohem's software metrics and software management, that is conventional software management performance metrics, and same answer. That is your 10 points, whatever we have discussed regarding your project. So which is having your starting from your cost of how much it is going to be at the, sorry, after the deployment till the maintenance and involvement of the complete project is going to be involved in the software, that is conventional software management performance. Clear with these two topics? So focus more on your waterfall model from the first part. Okay. Next, evolution of software economics, where we are having software economics. So what do you mean by software economics? So what do you mean by software economics? So what are the things that are involved in your software economics? So what are the things that are involved in your software economics? How you are going to measure your software economics? So what are the parameters that are going to test you with the software economics? How many are there? 5 parameters are there. Okay, fine. What are those 5 parameters? Size, process, personnel, environment, and required quality or quality. Okay. So these are called as your software economics or software parameters. 5 basic parameters of your software, we can say. So in size, what it is going to focus? In size, what it is going to focus? Size, number of source instructions, process, so what is going to be in size? So the size of the project is going to be in size. That is whether it is small project or big project, or is it is moderate project. All those things are going to be tested with the help of your software metric called size. Then you are going to go for the process. So in process, what you are going to check? What is going to be there in the process? So whatever the process that you are undertaking in your waterfall model, starting from the starting stage till the last stage, that entire process is going to be called as your process. When you are going to take care of your software economics, you are going to go and check with this particular entire 5 steps. Okay, because at each and every step from the customer, the management is going to charge some amount. Okay, so the complete process, whatever they are going to undertake from the starting stage till the last stage, is going to include the cost. So that particular process, what you are doing and how you are doing, is your process. Size is the size of the project, which is either big, small, or moderate, that is medium, or however the project is, that is going to be taken care with the help of your size. Then process. Then comes the personnel, that is persons. How many persons are going to be involved in your particular project? It depends on your complete project. So if your project is very huge, how many people you are going to involve? If it is very huge, you are going to involve more than 30 to more than 30 people you are going to involve in your particular project. If your project size is medium or minimum, you are going to take 25 to 30 members as a team to undertake or to complete your complete project in the software. Okay, so that is the minimum project size which is given for the users, which includes your testers, code writers, that is programmers, requirements gatherers, and maintenance team. Everyone is going to be involved in this particular 25 to 30 members. Then comes your environment. So what about your environment? So what are the tools that you are taking help for completing your particular project is your environment. Then last one is your required quality. So after applying all these 4 parameters, how effective your project is coming out. Okay. So how it can be tested? With the help of your functioning. Okay. So if you are designing a product called ATM, so how come you know the value, that is quality of that particular project? So if you are going to go for the balance inquiry, if it is giving you mini statement, is your project is working properly? So you're asking for something, it is giving you something. So is your project is working properly? So you're writing the code for balance inquiry, but it is giving mini statement. Is your code working properly? No. So is your quality is met? That is software quality is met? Quality is not met. So simply have undergone the process of writing the code and you are finally concluding that this particular project is finished. That's it. So your main motto is to complete the project, but you are not focusing on your quality of the product. So if you are writing the code for mini statement and if it is giving mini statement, then your quality is good. So if you are writing the code for balance inquiry and if it is giving balance inquiry, then it is quality is met. So right. So here includes software economics includes 5 parameters starting from your size, process, personnel, environment, and software quality or required quality. What about the next one? Pragmatic software cost estimator. So what are the things that we are going to undergo when you are going to deal with your software pragmatic estimation? So is it going to be more or is it going to be less? Or is it going to be depending on your software economics? So how you are going to calculate? Anything you have written? Diagram you have taken? Have you taken the diagram? Have you taken the diagram? For this point, anything you have written, that is software cost estimation? Have you wrote anything? Anything is written in the previous class or your running class? So what you are going to see in your pragmatic software cost estimation? So in general, how you are going to write or how you are going to justify your answer? So what it is speaking? In general, what it is speaking? Software cost estimation. So in general, you speak with the help of your waterfall model. With the help of your waterfall model, just speak about the software cost estimation. So a customer is coming to the company and asking for the project. So what is the cost estimation at the beginning? At the beginning? At the beginning. Is my question clear? Question is clear? So just focus on your waterfall model and give the answer for you.
Hello.
Is going to increase 100 times of your particular cost, whatever you have taken or whatever you have charged, whatever you have been charged for the first time. Okay. So simply, if you don't know the answer, just try to relate whatever the topics that you are having in your subject for that particular concept. Okay. So what we are having programmatic software cost estimation. How we are going to estimate? We are going to estimate in terms of the project. We are going to estimate in terms of the maintenance. We are going to estimate in terms of the all the other aspects that are related to that particular project. Okay. So here cost is going to be increased depending on the requirements which are being asked by the user. Okay. So now tell me the answer for your programmatic software cost estimation, whether it is going to be increased or decreased. So it is going to depend on your particular project and particular requirements of the user. So if the user is going to ask you the more and more changes, then your cost is going to increase. If the user is satisfied with whatever the product or whatever the material that is being provided by the organization, then the cost is going to be maybe changed, or maybe it is going to be the same as discussed earlier. Okay, so it depends on what kinds of questions that are being raised by the customer to the company or organization. Okay, so here we are going to focus debates, that is we are going to focus on majorly three things: which cost estimation model to use, that is whether we are going to use the increase model or decrease model or same model we are going to increase, whether to measure the software size in source of lines code or functional points, or what constitutes a good estimate. Okay, these things we are going to focus. Okay, so then what about the improving software economics? How to improve the software economics? So how can we go for the improving of software economics? So once the cost parameters are done, how can we go for the improving software economics? How can we go for the improving software economics? There you can see, by reducing the software product size. So what is economics is indicating? What is software economics is indicating? How many parameters are there? 5 parameters are there. Whatever the aspects that you are checking, there you are going to, there we need to improve the those parameters. If you are going to improve those parameters, then our problem is solved in this case. Okay, so the first and foremost thing what we are doing, we are going to reduce the product size. So when you are going to reduce your product size, what is the thing that you are going to undertake? So are you going to modify the entire project, or simply you are going to change the size? Complete model you are going to change, or you are going to change the size? So at the beginning, if you are having 10 modules, right? So which is giving you only 4 functions or 4 functionalities. At the later part, what you will say? You will be modifying those 10 parameters as only 4 parameters, or maybe 6 parameters or 6 modules, and you will be coming up with your product size. That is, you are going to get the same 4 benefits with the help of your 4 different parameters. Okay, so that is how you are going to reduce your product size. Then how to improve your improving software process? How you can improve your software process? How you are going to improve your software process? Improving your, sorry. So by improving your development process, you can go for your improving software process. Then improving team effectiveness. How you are going to improve your team effectiveness? How you are going to improve your team effectiveness? How you are going to improve your team effectiveness? So how many members are there at the beginning in the project? How many members are involved in the project? So irrespective of your project size, how many people are involved? Size of your team is Makadundi. So if you are a front bench student, you can see, and if you are also a back bench student, you can see with reading, some lines are written and it is also circled. How many people are involved? 25 to 30 members are involved in a particular project, right? So which includes your requirements gathering team, programming team, testing team, and your maintenance team. Okay, so each and every team of a particular project is containing your 25 to 30 members, which includes all the parameters covering persons. Okay, so if a person is left in the middle of the project, or the tenure of 24 months is given for a particular project or assigned for a particular project. Maybe after 6 months, 6 members left the organization. So out of 30 members, 6 members left. So what is the percentage of people that left the organization? Out of 30, 6 left. What is the percentage? 20% or 25% of people have left the organization. So what is the maximum percent that we can replace? Maximum percent that we can replace is also 25. So if you are going to replace more than 25, then your project is going to be in the training period only. You are going to train the people again and again in training and in shaping your complete project there and then itself. Okay. So in such case, that is improving team effectiveness in the sense, out of these 30 members, 6 people have left the organization. You need to retake all the 6 people. Okay, that is, you need to newly recruit those 6 people and you have to train them and you have to cope up with these 24 members already who are involved in this particular project, and then only your team is going to be very much effective. So if you are not training the 6 people, that is newly joined people, and if you are saying go and join them and complete the project work, then will they join their speed? Will they catch up with their speed? That is 24 members team. Will they catch up with the speed, same speed? Will they carry out with the same speed? Whatever the 24 people are taking care? Is it going to be possible? Is it possible so for these 6 people who are newly joined? No, right? So then your team, will they function effectively? No, right? So if you are having any internal clashes in between persons, will your team work properly? Internal clashes are also there. Will your team work properly? No. So you have to undergo micro process, macro process, and mini process in order to overcome this particular points of view. That is how we are going to improve your software team effectiveness is here. You are going to undergo a process which is called with the micro process, macro process, and meta process. Okay. So that you are going to undertake these 3 steps, and then you are going to include your more number of persons. Okay. So you are going to train all members and you are going to go with the same speed to complete your complete project. Then what about your last topic? Improving automation. So how your automation will be done? So what you are going to take care when you are going to take care with your automation? So what you are going to take care when you are looking into your automation? What you are going to write for automation? So what it is going to focus? What it is going to focus? Any lines of code is written? Any text is written? Any text is written for automation, that is improving automation. Anything is written? So what are the things that we are focusing when you are seeing the improving automation? What are the things that you are taking care? Requirements, management. See, when you are going to go for the improving automation, you have to focus on your software environment. So what is your software environment? What is your software environment? What is your software environment? What is involving in software economics? What are the parameters that are involved in software economics? 5 parameters. What are those 5 parameters? Size, process, personnel, environment, and required quality. Okay. 4th parameter is your environment. Okay. What you are seeing there, that is in your environment. You are focusing on your size of the project, whether it is small, big, or moderate, medium, or whatever the changes that you are taking it, that you are seeing over there in your software environment. Okay. Here also you have to go for the improving automation, in the sense you have to take care of your software or improving automation through software environments. You have to write the answer for improving automation through software environments. Okay. So if it is big, how you are going to take care? If it is small, how you are going to take care? If it is medium, how you are going to take care? Then you are going to see the achieving required quality. Okay. So how you are going to achieve your required quality? Quality. So how you are going to get your required quality? How you are going to get your required quality? Huh. How you are checking your quality of a product? How you are checking your quality of a product? How you are checking? How you are checking? Question is clear? So how you are checking the quality of your project or product? So a customer is asked for ATM project, and if you are deploying LMS, will it function properly? Customer is asking for ATM, you are deploying LMS. That is your library management system you are deploying, but the customer has asked for the ATM system. So will your project quality is good or bad? Is there any case of quality checking over here? Is there any case of quality checking over here? Is there any case of quality check? Customer asked for one product, you are giving some other product. So you are not going to check any quality product, but you can check within the same product. So the customer is asked for ATM and you are giving functionalities of some other material, then your quality is not met. So if you are producing whatever the requirements that are there for the user, then your quality is good. Okay. So how you are going to get those things, that in achieving your required quality? So whatever the requirements that are being asked or that are being raised by the customer, you need to fulfill and you need to satisfy each and every aspect, or 90% of the customers aspects have to be met by the company. Then you are going to expect the good quality, that is achieving required quality can be accepted. Otherwise it is not going to be accepted. Then peer inspections. What do you mean by your inspections? And how you are going to inspect your project? What are the inspections that can undergo in a project? Huh? What are the inspections, that is peer inspections, that we can undergo for a particular project? What are the peer inspections that we can undergo for a particular project? So after deployment, the role of company is finished, or still it is there? After deployment, still the company's role is there with the customer and product, or is it left? That is it finished? After the deployment of your project, is the company's role is completed, or still it is there, that is associated with the customer? Still it is associated with the customer, because we are going for maintenance. Because we are, if we are going to get any mistakes or any kind of drawbacks in the project, we are again going back to the company and then we are going to go for the maintenance. analysis are going to be done based on your 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months period and 6 months period, and like that your complete tenure is going to be completed. Okay. So like that we are going to go for the complete project. Okay. So that is with the help of your peer inspections only that can be possible. That is after deployment, your project has to be again going to under testing phase. Okay. So this is about our complete first unit. Is it clear? Right. So is it clear? Your first unit, complete first unit, whatever we have seen so far. Yeah. వీళ్ళకా? Okay, madam. Right, Rama. Right. So is your first unit is clear? Yes. So from the first part, you can focus on your waterfall model. From the second part, you can check with your software economics. From the third part, you have to take care of each and every parameter. You will be asked a question of explain improving software economics. That's it. So where you can include all your topics. So if you are asked to write separately any two topics or any one topic as a separate, then you can go and explain with the help of your own writings of that particular topic. Okay. So this is regarding your first unit, all the three parts. So waterfall model. So it can be asked as iterative waterfall model or non-iterative waterfall model. Both types can be asked, that you have to take care. Okay. So then you have to check with your software economics where you are having 5 parameters. If you are very much thorough with those 5 parameters, you can easily write your second part, that is your programmatic cost estimation. Okay. So which is involving one of the parameter of your software parameters, that is software metrics. Okay. So here one more question you can expect is your Bohem's parameters. Okay. Software metrics, 10 metrics are there, no? So those two topics, you can be thorough. Then you can answer your first two parts very easily. While coming to your third part, you have to focus improving software economics. Again, these five parameters are going to take place. That is, play the major role. Okay. So if you are going to try to write these five parameters as your answer, that is also making sense. Right? So if you are clear, we can move on to your second unit revision. Clear? Last, is it okay? Right. So then quickly we will recap what we have seen in your life cycle phases. So what are the life cycle phases that you are having? Life cycle phases. Life cycle phases. What are the life cycle phases? So how many phases are there? Two phases. What are those two phases? Sorry? Engineering and production stages. అవి phases కాదురా అమ్మా. So what are the life cycle phases? So what is a phase? How many phases are there in your waterfall model? Waterfall model, how many phases? 5 phases or 6 phases? So if you are going with 6, you have to write all those 6. What are those 6? Requirements gathering, planning, then implementation and testing, you are saying. Then deployment, maintenance. Only 5 you are saying and you are saying 6. Where you are separating? Ekkada separate chestunaru? So first one you are saying requirements gathering, everyone is saying with the same. Next, planning, everyone is saying the same. Next, implementation and testing you are saying, or implementation only? Implementation and testing, then deployment, maintenance. Okay. Now, what are the life cycle phases? The phases which are involved in complete process of your particular project is your life cycle phases. So generally we will be following only waterfall model life cycle phases. That is 5 phases only we will be taking care in life cycle phases. Okay. So which is having your two different stages like engineering and production stage. So what are those two stages are giving us? So in engineering stage, what you will be seeing, and in product stage, what you will be seeing? So what is the role of first stage and what is the role of your second stage? That is engineering and production stage. Two stages you are saying, no? One is engineering stage, the other one is product stage. So what is there in engineering stage and what is there in your product stage? So are they related to our project? Are those two phases or those two stages related to our project? Related to the project or not? Just check. Related to the project or not project? Related or not related? Just give me the answer. Related or not related? Related to the project. Okay, fine. So what you are going to do in production stage? Production. Production. So what we need to do in production? What you need to do in production? So you have to go for implementation of your project. Okay, fine. Next. So you have to go for your implementation, testing. Then you have to go for your, if possible, you have to go for your deployment. So what you are doing, you are taking care of these three things. What is implementation you are taking, testing you are taking, and production. Moreover, production, that is construction of writing the lines of code, you are taking care in the stage of production stage. Okay. So what about the size of the project? Size. What about the size of the project? Production stage. What about the size of the project? Is it going to be small or big? Size of the project, is it going to be small or big? Can we know the size of the project at the stage of production? It's the stage of production. So what you are saying, you are going to write the code, implement, test, and you are going to deploy, right? So when you are going for your writing of code, implementation, testing, and deployment, the size of the project, do you know the size of the project? Do you know the size of the project? So what you are doing in your planning phase? Planning phase, what you are doing? Planning phase, what you are doing? You are gathering the entire information from the customer and you are writing the script of what are the requirements of the user. And then you are going to go for your planning, sorry, requirements gathering. You are doing all these process. Then you are going for planning. Then you are going for any design, that is architecture. Then you are going to go for the implementation of this architecture. Okay. At this stage, you will know, you will come to know what is the size of your project, whether it is small, that is less size, or big size. Okay. So in production stage, what we are writing, we are going to go for the small lines of code or big lines of code. We are going to go for the writing of entire process. Okay. Whether it is small or big. So what about your engineering stage? Engineering stage, what you are doing? In production stage, you are checking for the whether it is big or small lines of code that you are going to write, or the only small portion of the program you are going to write, or you are going to implement, and you are going to go for the deployment of your project that you are taking care with the help of your production stage. That is, you are about to produce a project into the market, or you are about to produce a project into the hands of a customer. That is the second stage. What about your first stage, engineering stage? What it is giving? Can we predict the size? Can we predict the size? Can we predict the size? Second stage, can we predict the size? Production stage, can we predict the size? Size prediction, is it possible? Whether it is big, small, that is large or small or medium, can we go for the can we go for the production? That is, can we predict the size? Second stage, can we predict? We can predict with the help of your planning. Okay. Whatever that you have planned, that is going to give you the entire view of whatever the size of your project is that you are giving. So here also in engineering stage, what we are doing, we are also gathering the entire information and we are going to go for the planning and we are going to decide whether it is having less or more number of predictable outcomes for the given project that we are going to take care. Okay. So what are these two stages are giving? These two stages are giving us the size, whether it is small, big, that is small or large or medium, that are going to be predicted by the user, that are going to be predicted by the developer in view of the customer's requirements. Okay. These two stages are going to do that particular task for the users. Then what about your inception phase? Have you heard the term inception before our second unit? Inception phase before the start of our second unit. Do we heard the word called inception phase? Before the start of our second unit. Do have the do we have the term called inception earlier? Ma second unit start avaka mundu manaku telusa? Yes or no? So what is the role or what do we do in inception phase? Inception. So these four phases are similar to your which phases? How many phases you are having over here after engineering and production stage? You are having four different phases. One is inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. Okay. So what do we do in inception phase? This is similar to our requirements gathering. So what do we do in inception phase? We will try to get or we will try to gather the entire information related to that particular project, and we will try to make it as a pictorial representation or a lines of code so that the user can easily understand whatever the intentions of the user with the help of the inception phase. Then elaboration. What do we do in elaboration? What do we do in elaboration? So user has given n number of requirements from his end. So what we need to make him understand? We need to make him understand with the help of, so if he has given 20 inputs to the customer, 20 inputs to the organization, what is the organization going to do? They are going to undertake only 10 points, major points from the discussions, and they will try to convince these requirements or these points are going to be covered in your all 20 points, whatever you have discussed earlier. Okay. So inception phase, then you are going to go for the elaboration. That is, you are going to elaborate the requirements of whatever you have gathered, and then you are going to go for the construction, right? So that is design you are going to make and model you are going to make, and then you are going to go for the transition. That is, you are going to go it into the form of design, code writing, and execution. Okay. So this is life cycle phases. Okay. So question is being asked related to explain the life cycle phases of software engineering or software project management. Okay. These four phases you can write, including your fifth phase of waterfall model. Then, is it clear? Yes, this part, is it clear? Second unit, first part, is it clear? We can move on to the second one. So then we can see the artifacts of the process. So there we are having the artifacts as sets. So the first artifacts we are going to see as the artifact sets. So what are these artifact sets and what do we have in artifact sets? What do we have in artifact sets? That is artifacts of the process. Again, you can go for the which phase? What is the life cycle model that we are going to use regularly? What is the model that we are going to use? Waterfall model. Very good. What are the phases in your waterfall model? Again, first phase is requirements gathering, next planning, next implementation, next testing, next deployment. Okay. Fine. So there we are having 5 different phases. Here in the artifact sets, those 5 will be included, but only, sorry, instead of those 5, we will be seeing only 4 names with requirement set. You are going to say here. First one is your requirement set. Second one is your design set. Then third one is your implementation set. Fourth one is your deployment set. Okay. So first set, what you are doing? Requirement set. What we need to do in requirement set? Gather the requirements, then go for the in accordance with the customer. Then second set is design set. So whatever the information that is being gathered by the company from the customer, you have to undergo a design. That is, you have to come out with a model which can be satisfied by the company to the customer. Okay. So if it is satisfied, then the customer is going to give the acceptance. Then you can go for the proceedings. That is, you can go for the further proceedings. Then in the third step, implementation. There you are going to go for your code writing. Then you are going to go for your testings. Then you are going to undergo what are the various aspects that can be included. That is various modules that can be included into your project. And all those things you are going to take care in your implementation phase. And then you are going to go for the deployment. That is, you are going to hand over the project to the customer. Okay. So these 4 things are going to be there as your artifact sets. So what are those artifacts? Requirements, design, implementation, and deployment set. Okay. So here you are going to use the names as sets: requirement set, implementation set, design set, and deployment set. Management artifacts. What are your management artifacts? Yes. Management artifacts. So where is our management artifact is going to come? Where the management is going to come in place? Where the management is going to come in place? Any points you have written in your running notes or in your regular class where you are going to go for your management artifacts? That is management artifacts. So what is the term is giving us? So what it is saying in general? It is giving us the management artifacts. Okay. So artifact sets include only 4 things. Those 4 things are your requirement set, implementation, design, and deployment set. So these 4 sets have to be managed. Okay. So requirement set is there. So while gathering the requirements, some clashes are happening in between customer and company. So what we need to do? We need to go for managing these things. That is, the conflicts which are taking place in between customer and the company have to be managed. Okay. So how can we manage? With the help of the communication. That is, the communication gap is there in between company and the customer. So if the communication is improper, then we can overcome with the requirement set. Right. So in second set, that is implementation. So again, the customer and company both will be having the all these four artifacts. Okay. So in first phase, requirements gathering, if something is going wrong with the company, then again the okay. So if you are having any clashes, that is customer is saying something and the management is understanding something. So if you are having any bridge gap between these two persons, then your management artifact is going to come into place and then they are going to go for the finding out the solution. Okay. So then again, implementation, while coming to the implementation, that is code writing or module design or whatever the phases that are associated with implementation, if the customer is not going to be satisfied with the efforts of the company, again he is going to interfere and he is going to go for the asking for multiple number of changes. Then also the company has to go for changes and again proceed for the proceedings. So that is also coming under your management. How you are managing, you are making the customer to be satisfied with your efforts, that whatever you have put in this particular project. Okay. So how you are satisfying? So you are showing them, that is you are showing the customer multiple designs, multiple code types, right? So that is lines of codes you are reducing, increasing. So depending on the customer's requirements, you are going to give the multiple number of lines of code and multiple number of pictures you are going to represent, that is pictures you are going to show, and then you are going to come up with the solution. Okay. That is how you are going to manage with the help of your implementation. Then you are going to go for your designs, then you are going to show the designs, and then you are going to make the user as satisfied, then you are going to go for the final deployment. Okay. So even if the customer is not satisfied with the deployment, that is whatever the design that he is asking and you are producing, you are not the same, he is not going to accept the phase, that is he is not going to accept your project. Okay. So like that also he can go for changes, ask you for the changes, then you are going to reply him with the help of your management artifacts. Okay. At each and every set, you are going to go for the changes and you are going to satisfy the customer with the help of your team. Okay. So this is uh, falling under our management artifacts. Then engineering artifacts. So what are the engineering artifacts that you are having? Requirements, design, implementation. No, no, here you have to focus on your engineering stage. So what we are seeing in engineering stage and product stage, what we are seeing? We are seeing with the size of the project. Okay. The size of the project we are seeing, and we are checking with the size of the project, and we are completely focusing on that particular project. Right. So last one we are going to see is your pragmatic aspects. So what you are going to focus on your pragmatic aspects? Anything you have written for your pragmatic aspects? Pragmatic aspects. Power point tarvata పెట్టినట్టున్నాడు అబ్బాయి. So what you are going to focus on your pragmatic aspects? So anything you have written for your pragmatic aspects? That is your pragmatic artifacts. Any lines? 3 lines or 3 sentences you might have written. Anything you have written? Just check. Anything you have written for your last one, that is pragmatic artifacts. Any lines of text which you could remember? both the sides. See, in pragmatic aspects, you might have written, if you are not written, you can note down, no issue. People want to review information but doesn't understand the language of the artifact. Okay. The first one is people want to review the information. But if you are not written, just write down, no issue. People want to review the information but doesn't understand the language of the artifact. That is the first point. And the second one is people want to review the information but doesn't have access to the tools. Okay. Then human readable engineering artifacts you're already having. You're already having that one. This one you have already written or still you need to write? Lines you have written or not having? Then I am saying no, you can write. People want to review information. So if you're not having, you can make a note, no issue. People want to review information but don't understand. People want to review information but don't understand the language of the artifact. But don't understand the language of the artifact. That is the first one. Okay. Second one is people want to review the information. People want to review the information. People want to review the information but don't have access to the tools. But don't have access to the tools. Okay. Next one. Human readable engineering. Human readable engineering. Human readable engineering artifacts. Human readable engineering artifacts should use should use should use should use rigorous notations. Should use rigorous notations. Should use rigorous notations that are complete, comma consistent, that are complete, comma consistent, and used and used and used in and used in a self documenting manner. In a self documenting manner. Next one. Useful documentation is useful documentation is next point on. Useful documentation is useful documentation is self-defining. Is self-defining. Is self-defining. Hyphen. It is documentation. It is documentation that gets used. That gets used. Right. So come with the first one. What about the first artifact that we are having? People want to review information, but don't understand the language that don't understand the language of the artifact. So what does it mean? So maybe in one language, one person has written the artifacts, that is, what are the aspects that we are having? Requirement, implementation, design, and deployment. So in one language, these artifacts are already being written, but one person who is about to read or who is reading that those artifacts is not able to understand, because the programmer has written in one language, maybe in English or maybe in Hindi or maybe in some other language, but the person who is ready to read or who is reading these artifacts is unable to understand that particular language. Okay, so there he is having pragmatic artifacts, that is he is having or he is having some issue with this particular he is having some issue with this particular language. He wants to read, but he is unable to read. Okay, that is the intention. What about the second one? People want to review the information but don't have access to the tools. Okay, so one way is not giving the access to the language, that is not knowing the language. The other way is not knowing the, that is not having the idea of that particular tool. Okay, so if the person who is implementing in one tool may not be knowing to the other person. Okay, so that is going to happen in the pragmatic artifacts, that is they are ready to go with one tool. So say for example, if you are testing, if you are going for testing, if you are very comfortable with Selenium, but you are getting some other tool apart from this particular Selenium, then you are unable to review that particular product. Okay, so if you are unable to review that particular product, that is you want to view it, but you are unable to review it because you don't know the handling of this particular tool called Selenium. You have the option of, you are having the idea of some other tool for explaining or for handling the your particular project. Okay, you don't have the idea of Selenium tool, but it is already written in that particular tool only. You don't have the idea. That's why you are not able to review it. Okay. Next point we are having is human readable engineering artifacts should use rigorous notations that are complete, consistent, and used in self-documenting manner. Okay, so whatever the things that you are using, whatever the things that you are about to implement or implementing have to be documented. That is by whom? But is by self people. Okay, self documentation. If you are involving in a project, you have to document your own all the things which are related to that particular project. So if you are saying to your friend or your colleague, then the wrapper is going to be missed, because you're writing, you are doing all the things of your own, but you're not selfly documenting. Okay, so that part you have to take care with these pragmatic artifacts. And the final one is your documentation is mandatory for each and every project. Okay, so that is the case where you are going to have this particular information. Clear? Clear with this, all these concepts of your second unit? Yes. So once it is done, we can move on to your third unit and then we can proceed with your 4 and 5. Is it clear? So we have seen the life cycle phases where you are having 5 phases in your waterfall model. Here you are having production stages and engineering stages. Both are related to the size, product, and the production of the phase. And then you have seen inception, elaboration, construction, and transition phase, which are similar to our waterfall model. And then we have seen the artifacts of the process, where we are having the artifacts sets as 4, starting from requirement set, next implementation, deployment, design and deployment set. Then we have seen the management artifacts, that is managing all these four phases, that is managing all these four artifact sets with respect to a particular project is our management artifact. Then we have seen the engineering artifacts, where we are having again those four artifacts related in terms of the size and product. And then we have seen the pragmatic artifacts. Okay, clear? Right. So then we can move on to the third. Wow, 1, 2 are clear. So what is the what you need to focus more on your first unit? Waterfall model. Where you need to focus more on your first unit? First one is your waterfall model. Second one is your software economics. Next, conventional software management performance, and your improving performance. Sorry, improving. One topic is there, no? Improving. What is your third topic in your first unit? Improving software productivity or process. Improving software process, where you are going to focus again on those 5 parameters. Okay. So in second unit, you need to focus more on second one. So in second unit, where you need to focus more, life cycle phases. You can write those 5 life cycle phases again as SDLC process model and engineering and production stages. Then you will be having same 5 phases in terms of 4 phases as separate one: inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. That is second one. Then you are having the artifact sets. There you have to focus those 4 artifact sets. If you are focusing clearly on these 4 artifact sets, then you are easily writing these particular part, second part. Okay. Then moving on to your third one, which is model based software architecture. We are having 2 different types. One is management perspective and the other one is technical perspective. So what is there in management perspective? Management perspective. What do management people do, or what do management people will see in terms of a project? In terms of project, what do management people will see in terms of project? What do you see in terms of management? In general, what you will see? See, who is management here in the project and customer? In project development and customer, who is management? Who is management? Who is management in terms of product and customer? Who is management? Customer or team? Hey, customer or team? Customer or team? Team is your management. Okay. So here, instead of team, we will take company. Okay. Forget about team for a while. Focus on company. Okay. Forget about team for a while and focus on company. So what is a company seeing as a project? So customer is offering some money, or without money, he is expecting the project. Yes. Customer is offering some money, or without any money, he is expecting project. Customer is offering money. Yes, customer is offering money. Right, fine. When customer is offering money, they will spend more on that particular project, or they want to. Right. So when customer is spending money, the company wants to give it to the employees and do it, or they want to store some money as well. That is, they want to take the profit as well. Company is expecting any profit, or without profit, the company is offering project to the customer. But last, both sides. Company is expecting, or company is expecting profits, or are they going to give the project or product without any profit to the customer? Are they expecting any profits? Are they expecting any profits? That is, company is expecting any profits? Company, is it expecting any profits from the customer? Yes, boys. Company is expecting any profits? So, or without any profits, the company is ready to offer the project to the customer. Expecting or not expecting? Expecting. So, when the company is expecting profit, so when it is expecting profit, is it going to involve more people or less people in the project? Yes. When they are expecting profit, are they going to involve more people or less people in the project? Yes. Are they going to involve more people or less people in the project? Now you have to answer to the question. Are they going to involve more people or less people? Of your team size. Team size, are they going to involve more people or less people? Sipali. Are they going to involve more people or less people? How you can expect more profit by involving more people or by involving less people? See, if your employees are less, you are going to give them less salary, or even if you are giving more salary, you are going to expect much profit if your strength is less. That is, your employees are less, right? So in this case also, project team size is going to be less or more. When you are expecting more profit, your project team size is less or more. How is your size? That is project team size. Is it going to be less or more? తక్కువ ఉంటుందా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందా? So it has to be less. Okay. So even if you are keeping your team size as more, you are going to give them less salary. Okay, because you want to earn more profit, right? So when you are focusing on model based software architecture, you are going to show a model to the customer and you are going to get it approved by the customer. Then once the approval is done from the customer's end, what you are going to see, you are going to, or you are trying to get more and more number of profits. For that, you are going to keep your team as less as possible, and you are going to earn more profits, and you are going to get more money from this particular perspective. That is, whatever the architecture or whatever the diagram that is being chosen by the customer has to be produced with less number of people in less amount of time. In that case only you are going to get your huge profits. Okay. So when it is coming for the management perspective, they are expecting more money, that is profit. Team size has to be less. You have to work more and you have to give us the best result. Okay. So then what about your technical perspective? Technical. Technical perspective. Technical staff of your project. So out of 25 to 30, all people are well technically stuff people, or only few people will be well technically stuff people? How many programmers will be there? How many programmers out of 25? If your team size is 25, how many you are going to keep as programmers? That is code writers. So maybe 5 or maybe 6. Okay. So not more than that. You are going to keep more number of testers, maintenance people, requirements gatherers, and code writers. Okay. So you have to speak about the technical staff, that is technicalities, starting from your code writers, testers, and maintenance people, and all the other technical staff while coming to your technical perspective. You have to include each and every technician in your project so that your project can be carried out very effectively. Okay. So that is two ways of viewing a project. So what is management is viewing? They want more money. That is, they want more profit, less people to be involved, more work has to be done in less time. It has to be completed. So while coming to the technicalities of the project, the technical staff has to be included, and the technical staff have to complete the project within the stipulated time, and they are going to have starting from the beginners till the last employees of the organization. That is the technical perspective. So then what is the workflows of the process? What is the workflow of the process? Workflow. Workflow of the process. So we are having software process workflows, iteration workflows. Okay. So workflows of the process include your, see, software process workflows and iteration workflows. So in software process workflows, what you are having? Management workflow is there, environment workflow is there, requirements workflow is there, design workflow is there, implementation workflow is there, and assessment workflow is there. Okay, so we are having workflows as, that is software process workflows as uh, 5 different top levels, starting from management workflow, environment, requirements, design, implementation, and assessment. So in management, what we are doing, controlling the process and ensuring win conditions. That is, the 100% success rate of the project has to be checked in your management workflow. While coming to the environment workflow, it is going to automating the process and evolving the maintenance environment. Then requirements workflow, analyzing the problem space and evolving with the requirements at phase. Right. So then design, it has to go with the model. Then implementation, you have to go for programming and implement. Then assessment, you have to go for testing. Okay. So these workflows are shown over here. I think this diagram is taken, right? So previously we have taken this diagram. So what it is having? So it is having management workflow, environment, requirements, design, implementation and assessment, then deployment, right? So this diagram we have taken, I think. Is it available with everyone? So this diagram we have taken in our previous class, right? And this part also we have covered in the previous class. So what is having in management, what is having in environment, what is there in requirements, what is there in design, what is there in implementation, what is there in assessment, and what is there in deployment, right? So this port, that is, this picture is also being taken, I think. Is it available? Yes. Have you copied the same? So we have seen by explaining each and every artifact, each and every workflow of the process. Is it available? Isma, is it available? Previously, we have taken these diagrams, right? So then we have seen the iteration workflows. What is iteration workflows? It is repeatedly having the same process or repeatedly having the flow of the events. That is, what are the actions that are taking place within the project are going to be iterated again and again. So here also we are having the management environment, right? So requirements, design, implementation, assessment, and deployment. These phases are already available, and this picture is going to give us the information about this particular workflow of an iteration, right? So what we are doing, we are going for the management, requirements, design, implementation, assessment, deployment, and results. And this process is going to be repeated. That is, iteratively, it is going to be finished. This one is also copied previously, not newly. This one is also copied. Is it available? Right. So hopefully this is also available in your notes according to us in the previous class. Right. So this is also having the iteration emphasis across the life cycle. Okay. So how the iteration process is taking from the inception and elaboration phase, then construction and design phase, and transition phase. How these phases are having the iteration and how the problem is coming and how the iteration is taking place. This diagram also is available with you in the previous class. Is it available? So those who have taken, just please share it with your friends. Those who have not attended the previous class. Okay. So this diagram is also very much available with us according to us in the previous one. So have you copied this diagram previously? Just please check. So which is also giving the typical build sequence associated with a layered architecture. Is this available? Is this diagram available? That is iteration workflows. Is it available? This diagram. That is also you have copied. Right. So checkpoints. How many checkpoints are there? We are having 3 major checkpoints, which is major milestones, minor milestones, and status assessments. So in major milestones, what we are seeing, each and every phase that we are having is going to be checked with the help of major milestones. And in minor milestones, what we are having, iteration focused process models we are having in minor milestones, and status assessments, periodic events. That is, from what phase, what is happening, that is from which phase, in which phase, what is happening, and how we are doing all those things is stored in status assessment. Okay. So again, we are having major milestones as customers, users, and architects and systems engineers, right? Developers, maintainers. So this is the diagram which we have taken in the previous class. Just check with your diagram. Is it available? Why is it available this side? Right. Next, while coming to the minor milestones, we are having iteration milestones and iteration assessment review milestones, right? So we are having the iteration phase and iteration, multiple iteration milestones. This diagram also we have taken in the previous class, according to my knowledge. So if it is available or not, just you have to confirm. Is it there in your notes? Is it there? Ma, this side we are not getting any response. మీరు డే 1 డే 2 రెండు ఉన్నారు. వీళ్ళు ఒక డే లేరు, ఒక డే వచ్చినారు. అంతేనా? Ma, these diagrams we have taken on day 2 only. Day 1 we have not taken any diagrams. We have completely gone through our first and second unit. In day 2 we have taken all these diagrams and notes. This is available. Right. So then we have seen the periodic status assessments. There we have checked with the periodic sessions. That is how many persons we are involving, what is the financial trend, what are the top 10 risks, what are the technical progress, what is the major milestone plans, and what is the total project scope. Okay. So is this diagram available? This one is also available. This one is also available. Then we have completed the iterative process planning where we are having good work status, WBS, that is good work base status, right? So iteration plannings and how it is going to go with the various stages we have seen, right? So then we have seen the conventional work breakdown automation structures where we are having several aspects like management, system required and design, subsystem components, requirements, design, code, testing, documentation, and implementation. All those things we have seen, right? So then we have seen the evolutionary work breakdown structures. We are having work breakdown structures at the first level, second level, and third level, right? So there we are having organization level, structure level, and various other aspects as well, right? So then we have seen the default work breakdown structure where we are having A to some letter called G. Okay. So what are those letters are giving? So in first phase, it is giving us the management. In second one, it is giving us the environment. In third one, it is giving us the requirements. In fourth one, it is giving us the design. Fifth one, it is giving us the implementation. Sixth one, it is giving us the assessment. Seventh one, it is giving us the deployment. So from A to G, we are having separate breakdowns of the complete process. Okay. So then we are having the planning guidelines. So there we are having the software project span and the two simple planning guidelines, right? So the first line is we have already seen in the above table where we are having A to G, and then we have seen each and every aspect of each and every stage, how it is going to be implemented and what it is going to be implemented in each and every stage. And the second guideline is also available in the same table. Okay, that is diagrammatic part. Okay. And the last one is the cost and schedule estimation process. So as we know, at the beginning stage, it is going to be less. At the lateral part, it is going to be more. Okay. So that is what we have kept in the macro level, micro level, and each and every point. Okay. So then we have seen the iteration planning process where iteration is there, and iteration again, multiple iterations we are seen. And then we have completed the iteration process planning. And then we have seen the pragmatic planning. That is, if you are having n phases, you have to go for n-1 phases of iteration. Okay. So that is our complete unit 3. Okay. So this one is coming under unit 4. Right. So that is project organization and responsibilities is coming and falling under unit 4. So from this topic, again, we will cover in the afternoon session. So now the session is open for any Q&A. Okay. So if you are having any doubts from your first 3 units, now the doors are open. So you can go and ask. That is, whatever the doubts you are having in the first 3 units, you can ask for the questions. I am here to help you in answering those questions. Okay. First 3 units, whatever the doubts you are having, or whatever the doubts you might have written in your notes, you can raise the questions. I will try to answer those questions. Okay. So whatever the questions that you are having from the first 3 units, you can raise the questions. Okay. No issue with that. So we can cover your 4th unit in the afternoon session. And if possible, we'll also try to go for the unit 5. Old way and the new one.